Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Just a discussion piece today on building a flint and steel kit. Now, this is something I probably go a little bit stupid on. I tend to love building kits, and I have basically made kits for just about every strike I have, and as anyone who's been watching my channel knows, I have quite an extensive collection of them, nearly numbering 100. So I'll just go through. This is quite an extensive kit that I tend to build. These are for probably my more higher end strikers. And this is sort of kit I would probably build for the more expensive strikers. The simpler strikers tend to be a lot less extensive, but they still have enough to make several fires, and that's about it. But this one is, if you wanted to do something that was pretty classy and has everything you need to make a few fires plus sustainable, so that you will be able to produce more char and do a few other little bits and pieces in it. I'll go through the whole thing and show you what's in the kit. You will have to probably make some of these items. I did make all of these items basically from hand, like the kit, the leather and all that. I did that all myself. It's not hard. I only have basic leather skills, so you will be able to do it yourself most likely if you have even the most rudimentary leather skills. So building a flint and steel kit isn't really hard. I basically just thought what I needed in a kit and then assembled the kit from there. First off, obviously, get yourself a striker. Then think how you're going to store it. So that's my horsehead striker, and then I basically made up a little leather pouch for him. So he goes in the pouch, basic toggle, thing like that. There you go, it's all in there, and I usually just put that over there, and he's all in there, nice, safe and secure. So that's my striker ready to go. Once you've done that, you have to I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Really, what you really want to think about is what you're going to store it in. If it's going to be just a smaller kit, I would probably go with these burlap type bags. I buy them off eBay. They're actually for wedding gifts mainly, or food storage. Yeah, they're pretty cheap. You get 5 or 6 of them for about $20. So yeah, that's those ones. My preferred ones are these semi-style pouches. It's just a simple drawstring pouch, just stitched together. I did make this myself. I can't get any more of this distressed leather. It's a really, really nice, supple leather. I love this. So that's this kit is going to go into this pouch. So that's probably the first thing you really want to think about, is what pouch you're going to put it in. I do like the semi pouches better. They look a lot better, and they house everything in it. So I'd probably go with the pouch first, and think about it there, going from there. But anyway, enough is enough about the pouch. Get these the pattern off eBay, just look up Sammy pouch or whatever, and you'll be able. It's pretty easy. It's just a very easy pattern. You just turn it inside out, stitch it all up, and then punch a couple of holes in it, put a drawstring on it. Very easy to make. So get your striker, put it in a nice little case. I slip cases, whatever, just so that it's got a pouch to sit it in. Then you'll need probably 2 pieces of flint or whatever other rock you're using. I tend to wrap my flints or rocks in a bit of denim. The idea behind that is you don't want your rocks batting around and chipping to get like bashing around. Plus, they're sharp. They tend to cut the pouches. Plus, if you can use the jute twine that you're wrapping it up in for bird's nests, and you can use the denim for char cloth. So lots of uses for that. Wrap up 2 pieces of flint at least, because they do burn out, and in Australia you can't get flint very easy, although I can find quartzite pretty easy, petrified wood pretty easy, but I always include 2 pieces of flint. Next you need char cloth. I always include char cloth because it's not guaranteed that you're going to be able to get onto punkwood or other resources that day. Always include several pieces, enough char cloth just to get you going until you find natural resources out in the bush. Put it in a Ziploc bag or put it in a tin. Now that tin can double as your char tin. I've included a separate char tin that I've already pre-burned and put a hole in it, but a good idea is to have an Altoids tin or a generic tin. Put the char cloth in there in the tin, and will probably save you a little bit of space. Jute. This is for your bird's nests. Include a little bit of jute in there in a bag, just so that it cannot get wet. Can't guarantee that you're going to be able to find bird's nest material as you're walking around for that just initial fires. This is all about just to get you going for the initial fires. Once you get your initial fire going and have time to get around and find all your other natural resources, that's what I'm all about. So this stuff here is fantastic for bird's nests. Include some. The next one, then the char tin. I always include a little char tin just so that you can have another, so that you can make char when you find punkwood, or use this stuff to make char up. So you've got all your basics in there ready to go. They're your basics of the kit, and that would all fit in that semi bag, no worries whatsoever, and it just makes a nice little neat little package. These bits and pieces here are things to think about, because they don't necessarily need to be in there, but I would suggest adding them to it. Candle stub, again, wrap it in a little bit of more denim, adds more char cloth if you need to, adds a little bit more jute. That's a good idea. And the candle is easy enough to get into flame from char cloth. It's pretty easy to do, and that's a sustainable flame. Once you get that off flame, you can really easily start fires with that. The next one I would suggest trying to add to your kit is a magnifying glass. You don't have to add it into your tin, but I always store my little magnifying glass in those tins, just in there, just to add it in for extra little bit of safety. Really good when the sun's out. With a flint and steel kit, it's only a 38mm glass, 6-power magnifying glass. Doesn't add a lot of it doesn't take up a lot of room. Adds a lot of versatility to that kit, and then you're pretty well set. I would also think about adding a Lantwick slow match. I love these things. Really, really good. If you can make them and you have the ability, have access to potassium nitrate, which is not hard to get, definitely add that to your kit. I've been adding these to all my kits now because Lantwick is really good. It's slow burning. It's a fantastic resource and is a viable alternative to Char Cloth. Last but not least is, and I will take this one out of it. This is one of my oilskin Tinder pouches. I make these up out of oiled cotton. And it's just a little Tinder pouch for keeping tinder in it. Add it into your kit and it will keep, because it's oiled, it will keep a little bit of tinder dry if it happens to get wet, and especially with the plastic bag. But you're obviously not going to be keeping it in there if it's, once you take it out of the plastic bag to use it. So yeah, but I always just squeeze all the air out just to reduce the amount of space it takes up. But that's my little, they're just oilskin Tinder pouch that I make up, and as you see, they're quite a tiny little package once you make up. And that's basically it. That's my basically an extensive kit that I make up for most of my flint and steel kits that are for my more for my more like higher end kit, higher end strikers. I usually don't go this overboard with my the cheaper ones, because I usually just put a few flints, some char cloth and a bit of jute in them, because that's all you really need. But with any of my other, like my Olive Meads or my Kirkhams or any of those ones, I do tend to, this is the sort of kit I do build. But I thought I'd just run through a basic kit building video and what I tend to put into my kits, and thought it might be interesting to see what it is that I put in them and my thinking, a little bit of thinking behind it. All this stuff is it's all available. Either you have to make it yourself, like that's had to be made, or the leather has to be made. You buy your magnifying glasses and the little tin, a little brass container. You have to buy that. The jute you buy, char cloth you make yourself. Candle stubs are just a standard candle, and I just break it off and then wrap it up in denim. But definitely wrap all your flints and everything in denim, and that just to make sure that you have a little bit more denim to make up into char cloth, as well as protecting your flints so that they don't cut anything in that. And make sure you add a tin in so that you can make more char cloth. Anyway, hope that's been an interesting video and shows you what I have made, what kits I make up as far as my flint and steel kits go. And this is probably the most extensive kit I have, about the most extensive kit I would have. I've got ones that I have multiple multiple strikers in, but I've added it into haversacks, but that they are more extensive again, but that's only because I've got 5 or 6 strikers in it, and I've basically just added more flints and more resources in it. So it's not necessarily more extensive in the fact that it's more extensive because it's got more gear in it, but the actual types of gear is all the same. It's just got more of it in it. But anyway, that's my kit and building a flint and steel kit as far as what I do and my thinking behind it. Anyway, thanks for watching.